So if you focus on these 3 steps, you will feel more confident and experience tremendous growth if you're serious about wanting to produce music. So in this video, I'm taking my 21 plus years of experience of producing music full-time as a living and working with artists such as Jason Derulo, Sia, Kygo, Kelly Rowland, Justin Timberlake, and getting music placed on film, TV, and video game franchises such as Just Dance, The Crew, Assassin's Creed, and so much more. And I'm condensing all that into a 3-part roadmap that I would follow if I were to start from scratch and start producing music today. So step 1 that I would follow if I were to produce music today is recreation. And I want to expand on that in a little bit. But first, I want to acknowledge that when we first start producing music, we're kind of in this honeymoon, falling in love with the exploration of the music making process. You see, we just start learning all these new things, discovering new terminology, even being able to get our ideas that are just buzzing around in our brain onto the software and then sharing those ideas. Just creating something from nothing is amazing. And then eventually, we need to just embrace that music making process. We just need to embrace making music over and over again, getting all the bad songs out, bad ideas out, just flushing that out. And then we enter the recreation stage. And this is going to really help level up our music production skill set. And if I were to focus today on making music, I would jump right into this recreation process. What I mean by that is taking the music that you're really influenced by, music that that motivates you and inspires you, and using that as your compass to help navigate on what skill sets you want to improve on. So it would look like this. I would take a song that I'm really influenced by and then dedicate that 1 week in just identifying how to break that song down, recreating it note for note, pattern for pattern, sound for sound, and just wrestling with the sounds that I have and getting them to the best of my ability to matching the sounds of my reference. This process is going to mature you in so many ways. A, it helps you with your sound selection, being able to pick the right songs from the beginning. And B, it helps you with identifying how great songs are put together, how great beats are programmed, how great melodies are written, how great bass lines are composed. All that gets unlocked in this process. So rather than just continuously following it in that loop of just, I'm just gonna fumble around, similar to how I just got started in this whole thing, I would discipline myself to assigning myself at least 1 track a week or more if you have the time for it, but focusing on 1 song, 1 track, 1 beat, and trying to mirror and replicate and recreate that track, and therefore decoding it, breaking it down, identifying how are they recreating that sound. Use resources such as this very own YouTube channel in which I actually take songs that are popular and charting on the Billboard charts or Spotify and iTunes. I break them down and kind of helping you with that blueprint already. And also the benefit of getting started with this step today is that we're taking advantage of all the resources that I didn't have when I started producing music. And that's the tools like AI, many different websites that allow you to separate the stems and individual parts of already existing songs so that you can get a closer look and being able to break down and decode some of the sounds and parts, and also plugins that do the very same thing. So it's amazing that we have the capability and access to tools that make this part and this step that much easier to implement. Now, the second step I would take if I were to start producing music today would be create an audience and invite them along the journey. For a lot of music producers and aspiring artists that are producing their own music, the thought of engaging with people on social media actually kind of paralyzes them. I've heard a lot of artists say, that's just not my personality. I'm not that kind of person, or it's just not my vibe. And I totally get that. I resonate with that completely. As a matter of fact, when I started making music, there was no social media. And so engaging with people, especially outside of my inner circle, was a little difficult to do. So I totally understand where you're coming from. But inviting an audience to your process, to your journey, and having them connect with you, not just with your music, can create opportunities you never thought imaginable. And that's something that we have to consider. Yes, it might be out of your comfort zone, but it's something you would need to develop and grow into so that you can then start to create an ecosystem, a world that people would want to get to be a part of, and then eventually just have an amazing way to connect and resonate with the audience that you're building. Now, this also means you don't need to put up a facade, because for me, that was the part that was hardest. It felt like I was carrying this imposter syndrome, that I always had to like put this perfect version of myself out there. And I think the reality is you just have to be realistic with where you're at. It says, hey, I just started making music. Sounds like crap, but I am loving it. And I think that's really more authentic and would resonate a lot deeper with the audience that you're going to be building. Plus, something to also keep in mind, this is where step 1 could really be a huge part of increasing step 2. If you're recreating songs, you can implement that into your actual social media strategy and allowing people to connect with popular songs that are charting and your spin or your version or your cover or remix of it. And that could be that process. Doesn't have to be polished, doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be you. So you can even just say, hey, I've got this little 30-second clip of me recreating this so-and-so song. I love this song, so this is like more of like an homage to it. And invite people, and you'll be surprised to find other people like that song too, and might even like your spin on it as well. So this is how those steps can kind of work and kind of build off of one another. Now, oftentimes on this music journey, we feel like we're not really progressing that much at all, and then flood in the thoughts of self-doubt, whether or not we're even good enough, or we should continue doing this. And what we could really use is someone who can just help guide and give clarity and allow us to know what steps to take to achieve the goals that we want to achieve with our music. And hence, this is step 3, finding your mentor. Now, ironically, this is the one step I actually wouldn't change. Back when I started making music, gosh, that sounds like a back in my day, but back when I started and when I was transitioning from making music as a hobby to wanting to pursue this as a living and make a career out of music production, I knew the importance of finding someone who can professionally guide me and be a mentor. So I was very blessed to have many mentors, especially at the early onset of my career, that pointed out areas that I needed to grow in, that gave me the ins and outs of how the music industry worked. And so fast forward today, we now have access to so many leading industry professionals that are becoming more available to sharing their experiences and helping us identify what next steps we need to take. And this is actually the heart behind why I created Beat Academy in the first place. I saw the value that mentorship played and a huge catalyst in it was just what really launched my career for me personally. And I wanted to create that same experience for those who are serious about wanting to take their next step with their music. So I created Beat Academy to provide a platform and create resources and courses that walk through all aspect, top to bottom, every nuance of producing music, both practically and all the mental hurdles that come with that as well. But then I also wanted to create a community of like-minded artists and music producers that would be able to link arms with one another and hold each other accountable to reaching the goals that they had for their music. And I also wanted to provide one-on-one coaching opportunities where I can literally come alongside, and not just me, but my other contacts in the industry as well. I wanted Beat Academy to be a platform that I can pour into others so that they would experience the exponential growth that happens when all these steps come into play. So if you wanted to get started with step 1, hey, first thing you should do is subscribe to this channel. There are many videos that I have on this channel that break down popular songs that are charting on radio and Spotify and all streaming platforms. And I kind of break them down, decode them, and giving you somewhat of a blueprint to follow so that you can get into that recreation mode and start leveling up your music production skills. And for steps 2 and 3, I will encourage you to check out beatacademy.com. In this season of life that I'm in, this is where I'm really seeing a lot of the excitement for me. I'm still producing music for major recording artists and independent artists as well, but I'm really loving what's going on over at Beat Academy. And that's where I'm investing a lot of my time and energy, is coming alongside aspiring artists and music producers and anyone who's serious about taking their next step forward with their music and helping them achieve their goals. And it really is an amazing thing that I get to be a part of. So if this resonates with you and you're looking to accelerate your music production journey, well, I would love to be a part of that. As a matter of fact, I have a free gift for you that I'd love to send you. just click the link below in the description box or visit beatacademy.com/pack. And this is just a bundle of goodies that I've put together that'll really help you hit the ground running with music. I've got a royalty sample pack, I've got some VST plugins, some of the templates, effects, and so much more can be accessed just by clicking the link below in the description box. And I would also encourage you, become a Beat Academy member today. Visit the website, get more information, and I look forward to helping you taking your next step with your music. Take care.